Okay, now what I'll do, we'll have a look at the unit itself against this. Yeah, I'll leave it on there. Against this sheet, and I'll explain how I use the sheet. And if you notice, when you got your Unit 1 back, it's at the head of your work now, yeah? You know the one I've sent you back? It's got that at the head of your work. And that's how I work. That then becomes everything, that sheet, and I'm going to explain now. Yeah. Each of these I've got, it says, analyse the teaching principles you use in your day-to-day teaching, evaluate, giving you a sort of a taste of what should be there. Now, what I do with this sheet, as you see, at the moment it says assignment front sheet, yeah? Well, what I'm going to do is go put your name in there, yeah? And then I'm going to slightly change this, so it's narrower. And I'll move that over slightly as well. I'm going to take that out of there and put, page number, yeah. I'll actually add for some reason I've missed the learning outcomes off these sheets when I was doing it. I'll put that back in before I send it to you, yeah. So as I look at your work now, if I put this at the head of your work, as I look at your work now, I will read what you've put. I'll put an annotation at the side in review, yeah, and I'll then put achieved here if it's okay, and then put my assessment of it in just there, and that then forms my assessment. Or it will, at the end, it will be a summative assessment, obviously. So when you send me work back after I've sent you some work, send exactly the same thing back. So if you put any additions into your work, then just make it in a different coloured font. Doesn't matter what it is, so long as it's not yellow, you can hardly see that. If you make the font red or blue or something of that nature, it'll show if you've had to do any additional work, it'll show you additional work in there. And then what I'll do, when I've said, oh yeah, that's okay, I'll just turn it back to black. But if you send me the same sheet back each time, it will grow. As you send me, let's say you send me LOs 1, 2 and 3, have you done the whole thing?
I've attempted the whole thing. I had some problems when I got to 4 and 5.
Yeah. But I'll have got up to LO4, yeah? Yeah?
Yes.
Right. Well, what I'll do, I'll make an assessment of that. Once the assessment's done on there, any work that needs to be done, you'll have it in a little box at the side. This is how we're going to do this now tonight. I'll show you how we go through it. And then when I send it back, when you do any rework or additional work, just in a different coloured font, then when it comes back to me, I can say, yeah, that's good, that's finished, turn it back to black, achieved. And I've put me achieved in the box there. So let's have a look at your work. So what it's actually saying on Unit 1, analyse the application of pedagogical principles in your own area of specialism. So analyse the teaching principles you use in your teaching day-to-day situation. 1.2 is evaluate using detail from your lesson planning and schemes of work, and that's the ones that you put in for Unit 1, yeah? They don't need to be new ones. Then you can just evaluate using those schemes of work and lesson plans to say why you think it's effective, yeah? So let's look at 1.1 and 1.2. Go to that. No, wrong one. Oh, here. Yeah. Now, when I do my assessment, it'll say, look, an analysis of the application of the principles you use to teach in your own area of specialism. So, in expanding the awareness of music. So, in order to be able to play well, it's important the student has a depth of knowledge in the understanding about music. So let me just read through this bit so you can sort of talk to yourself for a few minutes while I read through this. When you get a wiggly green line under a couple of words like that, yeah, it's telling you there's a slight error of grammar there. Like the spell check tells you, it gives you a red one. The wiggly green one tells you where you have a knowledge of composers. It actually correctly, you don't need to put the a in. It's a knowledge. It have knowledge, not a knowledge, but knowledge is a general thing. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a green line.
No, I've just corrected it on mine here. Yeah. Right, yeah. That's excellent. Excellent, that covers it completely. Yeah? So what you get now is one of these. I'll just move that out of the way.
That one looks a bit library-ish.
I'll come to that in a second. Right. No, I don't want it there. Go away. I want it here. Okay. Oops, shoot on that. Yeah, are you, can you read that on there?
No.
No, right, I'll make it a bit bigger. Oops, how's that? So as an intro or outline, that's okay, but just need to add a couple of examples of where you've used a particular resource or teaching method. I've missed teaching out of there.
Okay.
Or teaching method. I think you've actually mentioned some of this in some of your texts in Unit 1. I'm pretty certain you have actually, because it's only a few days since I read it. So maybe you could actually refer to that. Say in Unit 1, I mentioned such and such a student and what I did, and just do a quick explanation. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just needs to just fill that sort of introduction out into with a couple of, because it says if where are we? Just a minute, a bit smaller again now. Yep. Yeah, it's an evaluation. So you're making an evaluation of what happened. Yeah. But you say it's a good thing because in your lesson plan, some students don't realise they're learning. Bad thing about that is I've Mr. Nell off there. Yeah, I feel the students has understood the lesson, and because they understood it, the fun parts, they failed to show how it would look in an exam. Yeah, so you've made an explanation of an outline of what your teaching does. So a couple of examples. Yeah, a couple of examples is all that's needed to highlight that. That's all. Yeah. So that is. We go back to the beginning again. Oh, sorry. Go back to the other page now. Go back to there. What I do now is I. Yeah. I don't know the page yet. You'll have to put the pages in when I send it back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do fine. Whoops. Hang on, I need to put a couple in, so that will be instances. We get rid of that. Put that to there. Oops. an E off there. That's it. So what I do, I leave that blank. I don't put not yet achieved in it. I just leave it blank at this point, yeah? Move on to 2.1. Sorry, I'm forgetting I've not got it to the head yet. So, that was another reason.
I included the learning styles, but there's not like a big paragraph on it.
Yeah, hang on, let's come back to there, 1.1, 2. No. On the other sheet, 2 says, back. Use initial and diagnostic assessments to agree learners' individual goals and learning references. So, here, you refer to learning objective 2.3 and 2.4, yeah, but make sure you've included some learning styles, yeah?
Yeah.
So you need something adding about that, but you can cross-refer to that because it is, if you look at 2.3 and 2.4 on Unit 1, it says almost exactly the same thing, yeah? Back on there. Yeah. Yeah, you've just put, yeah, so that will need to be added. So, again, put it in there, add. Put it down there either way.
Yeah, so it's in on 2.3 and 2.4. It's in there, but there's not a big paragraph in there.
Yeah, that's what I said. Sometimes when I put cross-refer, it depends on how much you've written in Unit 1. Some students have written a lot, and they've probably got it in as well. Other students may not have done and may not have put it in, but you could put on, yeah, use Unit 1 reference, but add how you have.
Have you still got it up? Can you have a look at it and see if it meets the requirement?
Yeah, yeah. Oops, locked. Now, when you did Unit 1, you've got 2 students, haven't you? Student A and B, I think we've called them, yeah?
Yeah.
So just use theirs, because you've already got their details. All you need to look is that this particular student had, yeah, a learning style, and that because of your initial assessment, this was discovered, and is recorded on the learning plan, and you make allowance for that when you actually deliver the lesson, yeah. So again, it's a short piece in there. It doesn't need more than a paragraph at the very most just to cover that, yeah. And the scheme of work is actually 3.1, so you don't need to add anything to that at all. That's quite correct, yeah. I'll put that on there. Good. So it's just a tiny bit smaller. Can't get it on the page otherwise. That's better. So that's gone. Hang on, 2.3. Let me go back to what that says. 2.3. Yeah, and curriculum requirements. So, Yeah. Bring that back again so we can read it. Yeah, just check it, Unit 1. It mentions the learning needs and curriculum requirements, yeah, on there. They are linked together on that in Unit 1, yeah. And if it's not, if it doesn't, just add it here. Just add a few words here. You can say that from the initial assessment that the ILP was drawn up, which covers the particular needs of this learner and the or any particular needs that they've got to meet the curriculum requirements. And that's literally all you need to say, yeah. Back again. So, going back to there, we're okay on 3.1. 2.2 is okay, sorry, 2.2 is okay. 2.1, just need to put it out in there. Okay, so we'll go back to there. 2.1. Yeah, we have put that in already. 2.1. Yeah, that's all you need to add to that. What did I say? That was 3.2. Well, that's okay. I've given you that, haven't I? Yeah, just check that. 2.1. Yeah, 2.2 is okay. Back to there. 2.2 is again. Ooh, my typing's going worse. Yeah, so that's that, and that can have. We have to go to. Boom. Whoops, and this one should have a big one. That's it. 2.3. Design teaching and learning plans which take account of the individual learning needs or preferences of the learners. Refer to copies of your ILPs at Unit 1, TOE, checking your text there. So you just need to check your text again on there, records any learning preferences, yeah?
Okay.
If it does, we'll actually, let's have a quick look at that. Need to go back to, I'm not quite sure where I put it. It's Unit 1, 2.3 and 2.4. Let me just put that down a minute. Which one is it? I don't remember. That one. Oops. Yeah, the ILPs of your 2 learners are complete and factual and well explained. What I didn't put on there, and I can't remember offhand, you may be able to, did you include one that had a particular need?
In the learning plan?
On the ILP, did one of your,
Yeah.
I put on, one of your learners needs to have some sort of specific need that's out of the ordinary.
Yeah, so one of my students is dyslexic, can I put that in there?
That's right. I couldn't remember. Yeah, you can obviously. So yeah, so you can that detail will go straight across. So again, there's no problem there. That will match. So I'll put that down again, and I'll bring the others back. So that no. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. 2.4. I need to put in. I'll change your heading there slightly by pulling that off. Right, that's better. Okay, so that's what that's a bit of a space between there. Right, feedback. Right. You also need to add in opportunities for learners and others to provide feedback. Now, this gives you your mentor on here, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you got, you've got, I believe you have a document for students to give you feedback as well, haven't you?
Yeah, that is in where I say refer back to the unit.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So when you refer back to Unit 1, 3.5,
Yeah.
then the document is within that there. Should I create a different, should I basically just paste it for this one?
Is that right now? I've written on that. Please refer to Unit 1, 3.5
Okay.
for learner feedback, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. What, why I'm so pedantic about getting this straight is because obviously somebody's got to look at this after I've signed it off and said, yeah, I'm happy with that. Somebody else has got to look at it and go through it, just have a check, but not everything, but just a few of the learning objectives to make sure they're happy with my assessment. And of course, well, in this case, the external verifier only comes in occasionally because I have direct claims on this qualification, so we don't have to wait for the ERE to come in. But if they had to look at it, they want it in a logical solution, so they can pick out and say, okay, I want to have a look at 2.3. So on that other sheet, which will be the head of your what's his name, it will be, you want to look at 2.3. 2.3 is that. It will be, say, achieved on there. The assessment will be in there, and it'll say what page it's on. So they can whiz to that page and go, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. So it just makes it easier. That's all. You understand where I'm coming from now?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just
How
just
long
put it.
do they normally take to do that?
Sorry.
How long do they normally take to do all of that?
Well, I do most of the IQA work for the company because, but obviously, as an assessor, if I'm assessing something, I can't IQA it, obviously, because I'd be just saying, yeah, my own work's great. What the internal verifier or internal quality assurer does is I will look at a number of assessors' work on a particular qualification. In this case, there's only one, so it's not. Raman will have a look at this and he'll say, look at Unit 1. He may look at a couple of learning objectives out of Unit 1. He'll then go to Unit 4 perhaps and have a look at a couple out of that. Then another, you probably do about 5 units altogether. And out of that, he will look at them, and if he's happy with what he sees, he'll then do a report which says, yeah, okay, I'm happy with that, it meets this, it does that, and that's that, and it's finished, and it's signed off.
Okay.
Now, that's how we actually go about it. Obviously, you couldn't possibly do the assessor's work. The internal quality assurer, his job is not to assess. He's not reassessing the work. He's making a quick evaluation of what's been done, whether it's been done properly, whether the work fulfills what the assessment criteria are asking here, and of course the learning objective, and that the evidence is there. And it just has a quick look through, say, yeah, page 23 or whatever it is, which to page 23, yeah, evidence is there, that's fine. You know, as an IQA, you can't even possibly go into the evidence. The assessor's done that. I'm just making sure that it's there and it's been done and it's you know, it links up.
Okay.
So that's what that process is. It's not reassessing the work. That's not the intention. What will happen sometimes, I've just received some work from London.
Just does a quick check, basically. So
yeah, it does a quick check to make sure it's all there. It's been signed off. The dates are on. You know, people's names are on. If you look at the head of this sheet, your registration number's not on. Yeah, so that's one thing the IQA pick up. Learn the registration number's missing. Put it on, please. It's not a reassessment. It's just a check that everything's been done properly and it's been completed and the work is there and the evidence to back up the assessment. And that quality process is most important. That if you let things go, the awarding body, when they come in to look at something, if they find things that have not been found by the internal quality assurer, then they are not happy people. So if they, I'll give you an instance now. We've just done some down in London, and I found quite a few things that...
It's okay, I understand.
Yeah, not good. So, but the EQA, because I'd seen those, he was happy. If he found them and I hadn't found them, then he'd have been upset. But yeah, that's the way the process goes. So, as I said, once I've got this at the front of your work, I'll go down and do the review on here. I'll do the assessment at the top, and as far as we get on this one, I'll then send it back to you in one piece. You work on the same document, yeah, as it stands. Add in any work that needs to be added in a different colour, so that I can immediately pick it up. Then I'll look at that, and if it's you know, say you'd added a few lines there that wanted to match something I'd said here, you put them in, and I say, yeah, that's fine. So I will then write on here, rework now added and meets the AC, and then I'll change that to black, and that bit's done. I'll put an A in the box at the top, and that's how we work through. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So I will quickly go through the others now. I'm not going to make an assessment on these. I'm just going to read through to make sure that you're on the right lines. Yeah. Right, yeah, and you were quite, on LO8, on Unit 1, you wrote quite a bit on there, didn't you? So I know that will probably be covered as well. Yeah, 3.1. Yeah, this is a different one, behaviour. Did you find the handouts I put on there for behaviour management?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Because somebody was telling me the other day they couldn't find it, and I said, well, it's there. I can, honestly. Go on, yeah. Yeah, that's okay. .3 fully covers that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. okay. Right. I can't remember. It's 4.1. Right, again, it's just asking you to then refer to, explain where it's demonstrated, yeah? Do it demonstrate flexibility and ability, yeah. That's fine, yeah, yeah, okay, back to that. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's great. It just needs a little link onto there to explain that, yeah, that's fine. Excuse me. Now, what you've done here is actually write an explanation, yeah? So you demonstrate flexibility and adaptability in my learning approaches using differential column. Okay, that's fine. What you will find as well, if you've got any teaching observations, there will be a section for this on there that says you've done it, yeah? So that's where you've demonstrated it. You understand? The command verb, it demonstrate means that as well as an explanation, it needs to show that you've actually done it. And the learning, I think LO5 covers some of this as well. We'll get to that.
I need to add the observation form? Yeah,
just refer to it. Now, this is why I said also on my feedback to you, right, now the actual, you can call them what you want, either documents, appendices, or anything you like, but just rather than give me the title, because I get so many different ones, it can become confusing. You don't need to say what they are to me, just give them a number. And then I will look at number 1 or number 2 in that case, yeah, where it says, I'm trying to find something now. All right, okay, you've got that. Yeah, please see Unit 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, but what you've got reference to a specific thing. I don't think I've found one for a bit. Just go back. Right, no, okay. Where I put this in, I checked on Unit 1 there, didn't I? It refers to it on there. So you put here, please refer to Unit 1, 3.1. Actually, it's the scheme of work you're referring to, isn't it? Yeah? Hello?
On which one was that?
2.2, I'm just gone back to 2.2 now. It says devise a scheme of work taking account of, and you know, a number of things, yeah?
Yeah.
And then design teaching and learning plans. And you've just put refer to Unit 1, LO 3.2 and 3.1, which is correct, right? Because at there, you will find a reference, won't you?
Yes.
Right? It's the reference that needs to be on here as well, yeah? Please refer to Unit 1, LO 3.1, and then it'll be Appendix 3 or whatever it was, yeah? Appendix 3. That directs exactly where you've got to go and look, yeah?
Okay.
Are you with me there?
Yeah, I'm just writing it down.
Where you're referring to a specific document, give the document a number, and start with the very first one on Unit 1 and carry on going. As you work through the whole qualification, just add the appendix numbers to there. You might end up with 22 or whatever, I don't know. But it makes it a lot easier to follow, that's all. So as well as, please refer to Unit 1, 3.1, which is correct, see Appendix 3 or whatever the number is for that one, that you give to that one. That's all. That was all I wanted to say. The rest of this is looking okay, Adele. I don't think there's any serious problems here that we need to go into in any detail. I just want to get to 4.5. Okay, yeah. So design assessments that meet the individual needs of learners. So you just need the assessment process that you go through with each of the learners, right? Demonstrate flexibility. Demonstrate. Yeah, those, every time it'll say demonstrate, those can be used as where you've got an assessment or you've planned an assessment or you've got any documentary evidence of assessment. Again, it just needs to be in there what it was, what the document was, and a reference number. And again, demonstrate those two.
Is that 5.2?
No, that's 5.1. It says design assessments that meet the individual needs of learners. Okay, so however you record an assessment of the student's work or learner's work, if you've got a document that shows that, yeah, then use that as a reference. Just say see document or appendix or annex 10 or whatever it is that you give it number to give to that particular document. Yeah. The second bit, demonstrate those. You'll be able to where it says here, monitoring learners' achievements, setting targets, planning subsequent sessions, and recording how you use the assessment data in there. And it'll just be an explanation of that. But again, if somebody's observed you doing a lesson, then that information will be in the lesson observation as well. So anywhere where it says demonstrate, you can use evidence from your teaching observations to show, yes, I've done that. Yeah. Okay. And then an explanation here of how you communicate the assessment information to other professionals on there. Now you put Unit 1 6.6. That's where you'll have explained it. Yeah. Have you explained the process and how it works? Just check on that. Yeah. Again, this one. Yeah, you'll have to read what you've written at Unit 1 6.6, and if it's an explanation of how you actually communicate that information, then that's fine. Yeah, you can refer directly to it. If it needs any additional work, just make sure you put something in, a link to it to cover it. And 5.5, again, this wants to look about theories and models of assessment and look at where those actually fit in with what you do or whether they don't. Yeah. Again, on this one, 6.1, I think you'll have covered how you actually use minimum core in the work that you set for students. Yeah. And the grammar and work you do with them on there, and also.
Is that enough to cover this module? This question?
Yeah. What you've written in Unit 1 about the minimum core elements. All it's asking you to do now is what you've written, the piece you've written on that, which was an explanation of how it happened. Yeah, I can remember reading something about you used time signatures in the mathematical part of it, and you also used essays that you asked them to write, looking at grammar and also the written English, if you like.
Yeah.
But just check what you wrote there, and again, it's just an analysis of that. For instance, if you look at a lot of practical work, the minimum core don't always jump out at you, but there will be some element on there. But this 6.1 is asking you to make an analysis of that, to say whether it is minimum core, and it is minimum because of the way you teach and what you teach. It doesn't actually lend itself at all times to fully covering this sort of material. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that again, apply minimum core. You've already covered how you actually do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then 7.1, right? You'll need to look at some of the stuff that's on the VLE for this. I've got some things on theories and models of reflection to evaluate the effectiveness of your own planning. You've covered some of this on 8.1, yeah? But just look at the theories and models of reflection, because it doesn't actually mention that in Unit 1, yeah? And then, I think Unit 1, 8.2, asks you to look at ways that you can improve from the evaluation you've done at 8.1. This is asking you to make an analysis of the improvement of your own ways that you're going to change in things. Now, you had put quite a few things.
7.2 is the analysis of 7.1. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Looking at theories and models of reflection in delivering and assessing. And then the next bit on there, analyse any ways to improve that have come from that. Now, again, you can still refer to 8.1 and 8.2 because those explain how you have thought about what you've done and the work you've produced and the way why it's effective. And then 8.2 is looking at ways that you can improve, and you've had some suggestions on what you do. But all this is asking you to do is make a short analysis of that. Yeah. Literally. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
Okay. So what I will do, I will complete your assessment obviously now when we go off, and I will send that back to you probably by tomorrow. I've got part of it done now. I've got a couple more to do from somebody else tonight, so I can't get them done tonight. But I will certainly do it tomorrow, and I'll let you have that straight back. And then just feed off what I've put on there and what we've said tonight. And what I will do now, before we go any further, because this is what I'm going to send back to you. Come on, you go. I will go. Save as. Save, yeah. And if I go back to the top and I go, sometimes it does this and sometimes it doesn't. So if I go,
okay.
copy. Yes, it's done it. Good. So now the start of my assessment is already up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's on. Again, I'll carry on and do your review on here. Fill in the assessment on there, and then I'll send it back to you as one piece. Yeah. And then again, you just work on it in one piece and send it to me back in one piece, and we will get there. So yeah, it looks like Unit 2 is well on hand here now. There's not really, but I don't think there'll be much to do on there to tidy that up. Okay then.
Okay, thank you very
Are you
much.
happy with that? Have you got any further questions before we go on?
No, you kind of explained it.
Okay. Well, again, if anything crops up afterwards, just send me a mail. I'll pick that up.
Okay then.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay,
thanks for attending. I will close the meeting now, and thank you for attendance, and I will speak to you again next week. Bye now.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.